This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers Mastery. Today we are going over session 5 of the eCom Sellers Mastery workshop. There's a lot to cover under this one. The last session, we actually continued working on our store setup. We went through and made some modifications to our store. I showed where you can make changes to the images, adding more products, how the products show up in the collections. And so if you haven't set up your store yet, I do want to encourage you to go back and set up your store for sure. It was a great exercise to go through. Then we went through some of the other settings that you need to finish. So those settings, you need to go back through that training and finish all of those, the setup for those. And then today we're going to continue on from there. So as we kind of look at the progress that we've made in the store, we have not gotten to numbers yet, so we'll ignore that first one. So, and then one of the things that we started doing was some of our sourcing research. We're going to continue sourcing research more in depth in our next session as well. But have you started any of that? Have you been able to find any products? Have you decided what you're going to sell inside your Shopify store? Sometimes people create the store, they don't know what they're going to sell yet. If you already know what you're going to sell, that's great. That's actually the best way to start. And then have you started creating listings for your products? Now, our free apps and our paid apps, we're definitely going to take a deeper dive into the paid apps and the free apps. But I did show you in the session 4 where your apps will be attached. And we talked briefly about some of the apps. And so we're going to talk through adding those to the store. And then today, so do you do any print on demand research? We did talk about print on demand early in our journey as far as the store setup and configuration. We're going to continue talking about print on demand, so we'll get into that. So this week, we're actually, this time around, we're going to actually go through the shipping, and then we're going to finish our policies and our contact page, the meta tags page. If you didn't do your Shopify payments, you need to finish that setup for Shopify payments. We're going to talk briefly about customer discounts and coupons, and then we're going to go straight into marketing. So the rest of this session is going to definitely be focused on marketing and getting through the marketing list. It's kind of long, and we're going to work through how to create a Facebook ad, how to create an Instagram ad, how to create a Google ad. And then we're also, and in our next session, we're going to go through even more apps so that we can have a better understanding of how those apps integrate with our store. Okay, so shipping was the next thing on our list. I have to hide the floating controls. Okay, there we go. So in shipping, if there's something that you sell on a regular basis, and so you have some kind of standard shipping configuration, then this is going to be helpful for you. In our session 4, I said you need to know where you're shipping your inventory from or your items from. And so that integration of setting up, if you're sourcing from China, or if you're sourcing from a fulfillment center, like maybe all your inventory is being sent to a fulfillment center, and they're fulfilling the orders for you, or you're sourcing from a dropship location that's actually within the US, then you need to put that under your locations. And then once you do that, you have to make some decisions on how you're going to do your shipping. Are you going to offer free shipping? Are you going to charge the exact rate? Are you going to use flat rate shipping? Again, for those who sell like a private label product and it's always the same thing, making that decision is going to be easier for you. If you're a person that sells a variety of different things, then figuring out what the shipping situation is going to be for each one of your individual items, you need to figure that out. You need to decide how you're going to do it. So I mentioned, if you're doing drop shipping, like your fulfillment center will, they said that work with a service shipping cost. So they will know your fulfillment center. If you're working with a fulfillment center, they'll have an idea. And so the shipping cost, you could charge like a flat rate if you want to. And then, of course, you and your fulfillment, whatever your setup is with that fulfillment center, then they'll charge you from there. But if you need to purchase shipping, and I don't know why I'm distracted by the fact that this is too small, your fulfillment center, so sorry, Here we go. I don't know why that is so far down. Here we go. See all the text. If your fulfillment center is fulfilling the orders for you, then again, that shipping, you may have that estimate information. You're going to need that when you get to your reconciliation to know whether or not you're profitable or not. So you should always know roughly what it's going to cost to ship something if you are sending inventory directly to your fulfillment center. So if you're using a fulfillment center, again, you don't have to purchase all the labels. They're going to handle it on the back end, especially if they have an integration into your Shopify store. But again, you need to factor that cost in. If you're drop shipping, again, you need to have a factored in cost so that you kind of know whether or not you're going to be profitable with this particular item. So make sure you get as much information as you can so you know how this thing might be shipped, what the cost might be associated with it. Inside of Shopify, you'll have options for carriers. As you can see in the US, you have USPS, UPS, DHL, FedEx. And so those are automatically or available, enabled. And so those can be integrated directly into your store. If you're working with someone else that's going to be shipping it, then whenever the integration is, then you don't have to think about that directly. But we do have a list here, those carriers that are integrated directly with Shopify. So there's an app for those. Your rates are going to be either flat shipping rates, like I mentioned before, free shipping. Have you decided whether or not you're going to offer free shipping? If you are going to offer free shipping, factor in the estimated shipping costs into the price of the item. Some people will, in their Shopify store, they will offer free shipping for purchases over $50, purchases over $35, purchases over $100. They'll offer free shipping. And so that extra cost is kind of padded into the price that the customer sees. So the only thing that they're charged is the price of the item plus sales tax. And so again, you have to decide what you're going to sell in order to determine which one of these applies to you. Okay. And then we have local delivery methods. Again, if you have a brick and mortar and you're offering that particular service, then you have a place where you can put in that cost of those rates if you have someone that's doing delivery. If you're producing your shipping labels out of Shopify, again, one of the things when you create your product listing is it's asking for the dimensions and the weight for the item. So again, depending on what you set up inside of Shopify, that's going to control what the price is that it tries to estimate. And then also, some of the other settings that you have, which is your location. And inside of shipping, you're going to indicate the method. So if you're going to offer shipping for this particular item, you may say that I'm shipping it through USPS, I'm shipping it through FedEx. If you're using an integration, then all of this is sort of irrelevant to you, but you still need to figure out what your estimated cost of shipping is going to be. So again, decide how you're going to ship this particular item, get the item to the customer, so that way, you can factor that either into the cost if you're drop shipping. If you're not going to drop ship, if you're or you're doing print on demand, or you're doing whatever, you can charge a separate price for those things for shipping, or you can include it into the price. If it's something that you're selling on a regular basis, you're fulfilling the order yourself, you have a private label product, then you want to go and set up all your shipping settings in order to make sure that, again, you remain profitable. Those are the two most expensive things: acquiring the inventory itself and then the shipping. Those are your two most expensive things. And then maybe the cost of the VA. All right, so a couple of things that you can do to reduce the shipping is understand your processing time. So especially if you're using another party to fulfill the order, whether it's your drop ship supplier, how long is it going to take them to fulfill the order? Print on demand, how long is it going to take them to fulfill the order? Right now, we're having a lot of fun with print on demand because it's taking them a while to fulfill orders. And then if you're doing it yourself, then you can control this. But if you're not doing it yourself, then you need to understand it. So in that way, you can set the customer expectation in their thank you email, their purchase email, set that customer expectation so that they're not yelling at you. And then also so that your inventory does move a little bit faster, a little bit better. Understand how long it takes either your prep center, the drop shipping company that you're working with or whoever to get the order fulfilled. If there's any way that you can streamline or improve the process, like if there's a bottleneck inside of your fulfillment center, you want to have a conversation with them to see if there's anything you can do to make it easier for them to fulfill the order. Maybe they say, if your item was already prepackaged, all we had to do was pull it off the shelf, or, maybe your items come in different packaging colors and it makes it easier for us to put it off the shelf and put it in a box, or maybe there's nothing that you can do to help them, okay? And plan ahead. So when I say plan ahead, if there is inventory, I'm going to use the example of Christmas. Like you are not going to be ordering Christmas inventory in October and sending it to your fulfillment center and not expect hiccups. So planning ahead means that maybe I place my orders for the things that I want to have at the fulfillment center in August, so that the prep center, fulfillment center is familiar with the items. They've got it on the shelf. They've got it cataloged, because their volume of activity is going to go up as well. So they've got your stuff and everybody else's stuff is coming in, and they've got to manage the increased workload, increased amount of inventory, and sending it to them in November. Like it's just, you're setting yourself up for in October, setting yourself up for a disaster for November. So plan ahead to make sure that you're ordering your inventory as far in advance as possible, where it makes logical sense, giving your fulfillment or prep center a heads up. If you're doing drop shipping, again, placing, checking with whoever is selling the particular product, what's their quantities, what's their volumes. If you're using integration apps, it will automatically make the adjustments that need to be made so that the inventory levels drop down. And that's part of the integration with Shopify. If those are ones that are already, integrated. If they're not integrated, then that means you're going to have to monitor what's happening with the inventory levels if you're drop shipping. So plan ahead and be prepared for those things. So this is where, when you log into your Shopify account, this is where you're going to go to shipping. So you're going to go down to settings. Once you go down to settings, shipping and delivery. And then in shipping and delivery, this is where, again, general rates, this may or may not apply to you, depending on your method of getting the product to the item. Okay, I'm sorry, to getting the product to the customer, not getting the product to the item. Whatever items you're going to sell, how are you going to get it to the customer? So if you're shipping it yourself, you're going to have some setup. If you're not shipping it yourself, but you're allowing your fulfillment center to ship it, but again, what's the integration with Shopify so that things can automatically go? If you're using drop shipping, again, what's the integration? If you're offering local pickup, you can manage that here. If you're not, move on from there. And if there is a package template that you want to set up, you also have the ability, like if it's a product, the packaging is always the same and the weight is always the same and nothing changes about it, you can set up a template for that. With the integration, you do get some discounts when the orders are fulfilled through Shopify, meaning the integration with the suppliers and Shopify. Versus if you're using Fulfillment Center, they have their own process, or maybe they'll have you set up an account with ShipStation and do an integration with ShipStation to your store. So again, whoever your Fulfillment Center is, you want to find out what they need and if they have an integration that already exists with Shopify. If you're doing drop shipping, I would definitely recommend using some of the drop shipping apps that are out there that have an integration with Shopify, because that's going to help you manage the inventory levels. Otherwise, you're going to have to manually do that yourself, and those sales can happen very quickly. So your template for your packing slip, this is where you can put that in. If you need to set up accounts, you can set up integration accounts here. And so shipping, you're going to spend some time in the shipping section to get all of that set up. So next one, so we're going into page setup, navigation. This, we actually covered part of this last week or last session. So the main page and the home page, we actually talked through this actually already. So what you're going to be setting up for the main page and the home page. Now we're going over to preferences. And in the preferences, this is where you're going to be putting your Facebook pixel, you're going to put your Google pixel, any of your social media, what image do you want to share for this particular store that you're creating, information about your store, so then that one, when people find it in a Google search, this is where you make sure you have keywords in the description of your particular store, so that way sometimes your store can be found organically, and or your items can potentially be found organically. Okay. The next is going in and addressing or finishing up the payments. So with payments, we talked about one of the things that you do have to complete the setup of is your Google payments. You can customize the checkout process, what customers see, whether or not there's going to be a logo on that page or not. And then the taxes. So Shopify will collect the taxes, but that is it. The payments out for taxes collected is on you. And there are apps out there that you can integrate with Shopify. The managing of that tax, managing of all the payments and the distribution is on you. So you want to make sure that when you're going through this process, that you have everything that you need integrated with your store as you start to collect payments from customers, wherever they're buying from, and where does your inventory live. So if your inventory, I'm in Texas, so my inventory lives in Texas. Somebody in New York buys it. Again, there's going to be some tax that's going to be calculated based on where they're buying it from and where your inventory lives. So there's some setup there. So Shopify payments, we looked at this session 2, I want to say, and you want to go ahead and finish the Shopify payment setup if you didn't already do that. Make sure that you attach your information and complete the setup so that way you can actually start collecting payments from your customers. Okay. So again, we kind of went through part of this already. This just what is the type of entity that you are. And then once you get all of that figured out, then you're going to go ahead and fill in this information based on what you put here. This is what's going to show up when the customer receives their confirmation for their purchase. They'll see a descriptor, and then how do they contact you if they have questions. Okay, you're also going to set up your banking information. All of that stuff gets set up here. So here's your checkout, and you can offer customers the opportunity to create an account. Sometimes an account or membership account makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, then don't offer it. But collecting your customers' information at the time of checkout is always helpful for you, because then that way you can market to them later on. So at the time of checkout, one of the things that you, if they have an account, can check out either with their phone or their email address. One of the things you probably want to do is you can determine which one of these makes sense for you. And then there's going to be a setting, and maybe it's not here, but there's a setting where you can say, I want to collect the email address at the time of checkout as well. Okay, so customer contact at checkout, these are all of the settings, and you can test this when you turn your store in test mode so that you can see what the customers will see. As you scroll down that particular page, again, you can decide whether or not certain fields are required. So address 2, it's not always required for people. Phone number, address, phone number, and the address block, you can say, yeah, I need your phone number, and put that as optional, or no, they can leave that blank, like it's hidden. It's not a field that displays as part of the checkout process. The other thing is show the option to opt in to sign up for your email marketing at the time of checkout. You can also, if anyone abandons a cart at checkout, like send them an email, and you can decide when you want to send the email after whatever period of time. So there's some cool things under checkout that you want to take a look at and decide how you want to run your store. I would encourage you to allow people to enter their email address for sure, so that you can collect that and they can sign up for your newsletter. But the other thing is definitely turn on abandoned cart notifications. That can sometimes increase your sales by anywhere from 5 to 10 or 15%. So that's another opportunity for your customer to be reminded, oh yeah, I was looking at that. Maybe I got interrupted because of the kids. And so I need to come back and take a look at this. Taxes, this is where you're going to set up your taxes. And if you have an integration app, that you acquire that you decide you're going to sign up for. Like an example would be like TaxJar. There's a couple of others. This is where you're going to integrate, add the app and integrate it here. Make sure you know where you're planning on collecting taxes. So for me, the region's not collecting, so I need to set up the United States. You're going to click on setup and set up so I can collect taxes in the United States, because again, you're going to be responsible for that. Remember, 2022, that all the platforms, you're going to get a 1099 anyway from all the platforms. But again, sales and transactions that are over, or any transactions that are over $600, I believe, there's going to be, you're going to get a 1099 and that gets reported to the IRS. So be mindful of the transactions and try to do as little as possible via your business accounts if it's like a personal thing. But you do have to do this setup. So you want to come over to taxes, go ahead and click on the region. If you're collecting taxes in the US, click on setup and begin that process of setting that up. It's always easier if you have an integration app, but Shopify will collect the taxes. It's up to you to do all of the downstream stuff. Okay. So here is where you will offer or set up any discounts that you want to offer your customers at the time of checkout. Again, you can offer customers a follow-up email, like if you have an abandoned cart. I'll use that as an example. That's a good one. So if you have an abandoned cart, you say, you know, we saw that you have whatever the email says. You can say, we'll give you a 10% discount if you enter this code. Come back, finish your transaction, we'll give you a 10% discount. So you can come in here and create the discount code so that people can use that on the abandoned cart. Now, I wouldn't recommend offering that all the time, but that's just one way to continue to get sales and transactions in your store. So remember that this option, this feature is available. There we go. All right, sorry, my screen was doing something weird. All right, so that navigation, not inside of settings, the settings is down here. It's over here. And so when you come in here, you're going to have to create a code for it. As you see in the example that they have there, like spring sale, winter sale, fall sale, whatever, Black Friday sale, whatever you want to offer, what percentage off. And again, if you want to incorporate that code into your autoresponder for the abandoned cart, that's a good way to do that. If you want to incorporate it into an email notification when people sign up for your mailing list, then you can include that code there and people can come back to your store. Make sure you include a link to your store when you do that. Otherwise, you're sending out a promo code, but you're not telling them where to go. So always remember that in your email copy. And then you can say how long this particular promo code is available and whether or not it's a flat amount, whether it's a percentage, you know, buy one, get one free. All of that setup is here. Okay. So we kind of went through some remaining setup and some decisions that you have to make. A couple of them we'd already covered, but we kind of went through this so that you can finish your setup of your store. And again, I would love to see you all store. So in our next session, I'm going to invite you to share your store that you designed. I'm going to turn that store that I created with the coffee mugs. I'm turning it into our eCom calendar and planner page because the actual domain is www.ecomcalendar.com. And so I'm going to turn my store into that and you'll be able to see my store. So I want to see your stores. So let's look at your stores. Now we're going to go into email marketing. So email marketing, we know because session 4 that there are emails that are available automatically under email setup. So those are ones that I was talking about, that there's Java and HTML. And if you can't figure out where to make the edits to the email copy body itself, then definitely get with someone. You can open up a ticket or create a ticket with like Fiverr, not a ticket, but you can hire someone off of Fiverr to come in and help you with the edits if you want to tweak any of the delivered Shopify emails. Okay. And I would encourage you to make some edits to them, at least send them to yourself so you can test them. So from there, when people sign up for your newsletter, you can set up an integration between Shopify and whatever email provider you want to use to send out an automatic email. So if you've already created your coupon codes, as soon as they sign up for the newsletter, like get 5% off your next purchase, whatever it happens to be, you can include that in the body of the email. If you have an integration with an email service or email provider, content, whatever, then it makes it easier for you to create those emails. It makes it easier than creating them inside of Shopify and editing the ones that they have. You literally could install the app or that integration tool, whatever you decide you're going to use, whether it's Klaviyo, whether it's SendFox, whether it's Send something. You can create an integration and then make sure that you activate that integration and then create all of your emails inside the email tool. It makes it so much easier to be able to communicate with your customer. You can still use the delivered Shopify emails, but again, there's going to be other emails that you want to make sure that get created. Like I want to announce for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, maybe I want to announce a Mother's Day sale, maybe I want to announce a 4th of July sale. All of that can be done through whoever you decide you're going to integrate with for your email service. So the newsletter, definitely that's a reason why you would want to make sure that you have email set up, that you're collecting the email at the time of checkout, which is what we just went over. I would encourage you to review your list of subscribers regularly and that you're not sending any to some generic inbox. The reason that is because over time, if you're sending emails out, marketing emails out to your list, and the emails that are on that list are bad, then your email deliverability rate is going to go down. And your customers are not going to receive as many emails, and you're going to be frustrated because you're sending out emails and people are either unsubscribing or the system is bouncing back that email address because it's a bad or a dummy email address. So definitely kind of scrub it. So if you have one that says, I don't know, John Doe at anyemail.com, like that's clearly going to be a generic fake email address, period. So wherever you can find those weird ones with special characters and stuff like that, delete them off your list because they're just filling that in just so they can see what happens on the next page. And you don't need that. Create customer groups to help you target. So what that means is if you have a bunch of different things that you sell, maybe you sell household things on your list. So one category is pillows, another category or collection is pillows, another collection is maybe lamps, another one might be bedding, another one might be, I don't know, wall coverings, pictures, canvas pictures. So you have like 4 different collections. If you have customers that are really, really interested in, buying pillows, then you can send targeted emails through your email service or whichever plan, whatever you decide you want to use. You can send targeted emails to those people who buy pillows on a regular basis. If you are seeing more females on your list, you can categorize your email communication by female and male. When Father's Day comes around, you may send emails out to all the females. When Mother's Day comes around, you might send emails out to all the males. You can do that. If you have a service that allows you to get that granular. If there are people that only buy sales items, then again, every single time they buy, it was a sale. Whatever your email provider is, you can see when those people are clicking on those emails, opening them, and if they're buying, then you can classify those people in a specific group. So it makes it easy for you to do some targeted marketing that will hopefully increase your conversions. Conversions is people buying from you if you have an email service provider that is that granular. For double opt-in subscribers, then that means that they are going to confirm they're going to opt in to your list initially by giving their email address. And then this is a confirmation email that says, please confirm that you want to receive our newsletter. That makes it so much easier when you're dealing with, again, emails where there's a bunch of them that are not being opened, or they bounce, or they're bad emails. And you're also meeting the requirements of sending out emails. So double opt-in is always good. And then the other thing is making sure that you have an unsubscribe link on the bottom. The majority of the mail providers that I know of, they automatically have that link at the bottom. So that'll make it easy for you, and you need to make sure that your settings on your email account will remove those people's email addresses so that they don't get future emails, so you don't get in trouble. And it also, again, continues to improve your deliverability rate. So let me just say this, why does your deliverability rate matter as far as email is concerned? It is whether or not the email is going to go in the inbox or the promotions box. It's whether or not the email is going to go into the inbox or the spam box. If you have a bunch of stuff in your email where you're saying sale, 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 sale all through the body of the email, I can guarantee when you send that email out, it's going into the promotions or spam folder, because the algorithms that are out there can read that this email had the word sale 90,000 times. And so we'll just say 5. And it's going to automatically say that this is spam. So there are trigger words, and I would encourage you, I would write this down. There are trigger words that will cause your emails to either go into the spam folder or the promotions folder. Your goal is to not use those trigger words, or to only use one of those trigger words. So the thing that you're going to have to break out now is the thesaurus. And the thesaurus will give you an alternate word for the word that you're trying to use, so that you can say the same thing without using that word. There's other types of tricks to the trade, like sometimes people will use capitalized letters for that word, sale, or they might put spaces in between it, a dash in between it, a period in between it. So it's S period, A period, L period, E period, that kind of stuff, so that the algorithm doesn't see that you're communicating the word sell inside of the email body and put it in the promotions folder. Your goal is to always get your stuff in the inbox, no matter what. So minimize those trigger words that are going to cause it to go into the spam or promotions folder. And then the other thing is minimize the number of images. So putting images and GIFs into your email is fine. That is, there's a lot of marketing that's done now where you showcase a specific product and it's a GIF. So it kind of like, I don't know, radiates, rotates, whatever it happens to be. Make sure that you don't use a boatload of those, because again, that will cause your email to go into the spam folder. So having an email that you send out that has one image and one GIF is fine. Having an email that you send out that has 5 images and 5 GIFs, and it is not. It's going to go to the promotions or spam folder. So hopefully, I hope that makes sense to everybody. So when should you send an email out? You should definitely send an email out. It's a welcome email when they sign up on your list. And you might offer them a little something, something just for the fact that they were added to your list. Announcements about new products and sales. So again, if you're grouping your list, there's going to be some announcements that are going to matter more to one side of your list than another side of your list, or whatever. Abandoned cart, you can turn that on the checkout process and just use the delivered. But if you want to see what's in that abandoned cart email, turn your store on test and send yourself a test email. Links to your store. Every email should have at least one link to the store. Now, I will tell you, links in the body of an email is also a trigger to send it to the spam or promotions folder, but it is the number of links. So if you have 1 or 2 links in the email, that's not going to send it to the promotions folder. But if your email has like 5 or 6, I think the trigger is normally 6, but I would go to 5. So 5 links or more, then it's probably going to go in the promotions or spam folder. So you don't want that. So minimize the number of links that you put in the body of the email. And then links to your social media. So instead of having all of the different social media links, what I would do is set up a link tree or quick link or whatever the other tools are that are out there, and put all of your social media on that. So you send them that one link tree link. And then all of your, once they click on that, it takes them to a page that has all your social media on it to make it a whole lot easier. Email your customers at least once a month. We'll send a test email to yourself first. Always test. Because when you send a test email to yourself, if it goes into your promotions folder, then there's something in the body of that email that's a trigger. If it, or if people have marked your email, like a boatload of people have marked your email as spam, then it will automatically go into the promotions or spam folder. So again, pay attention to that. And then make sure that when you're sending emails, whether it is a confirmation of the sale or a welcome email or an abandoned cart email, that the look and feel of the email matches the look and feel of your website. So in my example, again, I had coffee mugs as part of my Play Store. And I had, most of them were all white coffee mugs. And then I had like some taupe and tan colors in there and my logo. So I would want to make sure that my email had my logo somewhere on it. So that's like a recall for the person receiving the email going, oh yeah, I remember that store. And then my colors, I might have some, the email's going to be white with maybe some taupe around it, or maybe a picture of a coffee mug somewhere on there, an image. So you can maybe create a banner, and there's great tools to do that in. I think we talked about Canva before, but that is a great one to create a banner for your email. Okay. All right. So because I can't tell if there are questions, there we do. Yeah, we do. Please drop your questions here. Yes. All right. I was going to say, are there any questions? All right. So let me just keep going. Renata's here. Hey, Renata. All right. So we're going to continue down this journey of talking about email. Who integrates with Shopify? Dun, 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 dun. So these are the top ones, or the main ones. These are not all of them, but these are some of them that integrate with Shopify. I mentioned Klaviyo because that one's one that's definitely getting a lot of traction right now for Shopify owners. A lot of them have accounts with Klaviyo. So I would say it's the most popular. Sendinblue, Get Response, Contact, Constant Contact, Campaign Monitor, stuff like that. So let me just say a couple of these because they have email templates, and I mean like newsletter email templates. Sometimes those email newsletter templates will automatically make your email go to the promotions folder no matter what. So I would not, that's the latest in like the email journey, that a significant number of, like Constant Contact and MailChimp, they have these great newsletter templates, all framed out and beautiful. But the problem is that the algorithms that are out there are causing a significant number of those newsletter templates to go into the promotions folder. So what I would encourage you to do is to write out the email body, and you can put an image in there. Again, not too many images, but just the one image in there that makes it look like a banner, but it's not really a banner. And then put that in, and then write the body of the email, or put the body of the email. You can bullet it out, put spaces in between it, whatever works for you. And then have a signature line so that it looks more like a natural email as far as the algorithms are concerned, versus using the templates that are out there, and then it makes it look like a newsletter. So if you've not paid attention to that, if you have a Gmail account, go to your own promotions folder and just randomly open up like, 10 or 15 of those emails and see if they have a newsletter body to them. And if they do, ding, 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 Nicole told us that. Or look at the contents, what's the header and what's in the body. If they have the trigger words, again, you can Google, just do a Google search on email trigger words, like the word million. If you put the word million in the title, it's going to automatically go to spam or go to promotions. You put the word million in the body, if you say it twice, then it might actually go to promotions or spam. So there's different words. Sale is one of them. There's a list. And so go read some of these emails. There's a reason why they're going to the promotions folder. If you get enough people indicating that this email is spam, then it doesn't matter what you do, how well the email is written, it will automatically almost go into the spam folder, which is terribly annoying. But so you want to make sure you have content that is relevant and important to your audience. That's why it's so important to know your audience and what they like, and to pay attention to what they're doing when they come to your site, what they're buying, and all of that. If you have a lot of options, if you don't have a lot of options, that means a lot of products that you're selling, then if you're only selling one thing, again, what is it about those people that are coming to your site? So you can write copy to target them, and you can also create ads to target them. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. So now we're going to talk about Facebook ads. So Facebook ads helps you identify your target audience, you can create a Facebook business page. We're going to continue to talk about, your social media presence. We talked about that in session 2, and I would encourage you definitely create a Facebook business page for your Shopify store. Sell your products directly on Facebook, create visual posts. Again, there's so many amazing tools out here right now. You can even create these GIF related beautiful posts of your individual products inside of Canva. So take advantage of the tools. It allows you the opportunity to stick to a schedule. I will tell you, Facebook does have that whole little schedule box at the bottom on your fan page that you can choose a little timer box to say when you want this thing to release. So again, if you don't have the money right now, you're starting out and you want to minimize your expenses, you could get your graphics and schedule a post to go out every single day for 30 days. So maybe you schedule that, at the end of the next month. You go ahead and schedule at the end of the next month, the next 30 days, and then have graphics release on their own, just using the little schedule tool that's inside of Facebook itself. I can't remember if that little tool exists on Instagram. I will tell you, I'm not the strongest gram girl out there. I'm working on my gram game. So it may be on Instagram. I don't know. But anyway, but again, you can buy tools to schedule your posting as well. Announce or promote your products. So again, new products, we mentioned that in the email. That's one thing you want to share with customers, especially if you've grouped your customers, announcing new products that you're offering or new arrivals. So a lot of the time, if you were looking at your competitor or your closest competitor or somebody's site that you felt like, okay, this makes sense, it matches what I'm trying to accomplish, you'll see like a section is called new arrivals. And so new arrivals, you can classify all your new arrivals and have them showcased in the collection. We learned how to create the collection in session 2, and we continued, session 3, and we continued on with our collection in session 4. So again, you can put that under new arrivals so the item shows up in 2 places. Maybe in my example, it shows up in, I think we were talking about mom's coffee mugs. I'm trying to remember this. And then I could also classify a couple of those items under new arrivals. So they hold 2 classifications instead of 1, and your products show up under a new arrivals. If you're going to do new arrivals, you should definitely put that maybe towards the top of your page. So put that section at the top part of your page, not at the very, very top, but right below the scroll of that first section. Okay. You can engage on Facebook, you can engage with your customers. So maybe they like one of your images, like, oh, those are cool shoes if you're selling print on demand shoes, or, oh, that's an awesome, I don't know, teddy bear, whatever it happens to be. You can reply back and say, hey, I'm glad you liked it. And like, get 5% off. Hey, we have a special on it for the next 2 days. You can also run Facebook ads, pixel ads. So we showed where that goes, and you can create retargeted ads. So what is Facebook? This is where your ads are going to appear. And you have a couple of different things. So this is like a regular ad that shows up. It says sponsored right here. And it'll actually say, it'll show your ad and your picture. If you have a picture that you're using, some people will put like long tail copy here and then have a picture. So you can decide what you want to do. And then you can define whether or not they're going to click on like a shop now button, learn more, some type of info related button. And then over on the side, if you log into Facebook, like there's a bunch of stuff that's happening over around this side and from the desktop. So from the phone, it might look like it's in a different position, but from the desktop, it's happening over here. They always put it in the same spot. And so these are the ads that you'll see over in that spot. So when you run ads, this is what they'll look like and how they will appear on your Facebook page. All right. So do I need to run Facebook ads? What do I need to know? And do I need to run them? This is what I will say. Do you need to run them? Maybe. If you've got a product that you're not seeing a lot of advertising for, let me just, before I go back, let me go backwards. These little 3 dots right here, you can click on that. Next time you see a sponsored ad, and what we're gonna cover right now, it's gonna make more sense when you click on the 3 dots. So when you click on the 3 dots, there's gonna be a question there. One of them is, why am I seeing this ad? Well, you've been targeted. It's showing up in your news feed for a reason. You've been targeted by whoever. It's either based on like the activity on your Facebook page, or maybe you liked the page, or you followed some people. So based on who you follow, maybe where your page like rests, your mouse is resting for a long period of time on Facebook, or pages that you've liked, things that maybe you've purchased in the past. But that information is always helpful. Why am I seeing this ad? And then you click on that, and it's going to give you a little more information about yourself, about what Facebook thinks about yourself. It could be that you opted into somebody's newsletter, and so you're seeing this ad because they use their newsletter email list to target you, or to target you and friends, or to create a mirror audience, and maybe you're in the mirror audience. And what I mean by that is they call it lookalike audience. So you've got, because maybe you opted into their newsletter, so offline somewhere you went to somebody's Shopify store and you signed up for their newsletter. That's one. They took that file with all those email addresses and uploaded it to Facebook and said, I want to target all these people, and I want to target these people's friends. So the ad will show up. So maybe it's not you, maybe it's your friend, and the ad will show up just in the news feed naturally, organically. And then they could also target you by creating what's called a lookalike audience. So they have a list of email addresses. They're going to target those people and their friends, and then they'll say, create a lookalike audience of these same people. So they'll go out there and find out the characteristics of everybody, and then make that ad show up in front of them as well. It's pretty interesting how that works. It's also pretty scary. And then, and it's everything. You get the same thing that's happening on Google. You get the same thing that's happening on Bing. You get the same thing that's happening on Yahoo. It does not matter where you're doing this. If you're logging onto the internet, something somewhere is following you around, period. So if you're going to use the internet, I say anytime that you're online, you should be making money. Use that information to your advantage to get more sales and drive more traffic to your own store. So next time, check out the 3 dots, see what you see. And see, don't go too far down the rabbit hole, because you will be all day doing that research. But it is very interesting information. And if you don't want to see it again, then you can put, I don't want to see this again. There's another button on that page that says, I don't want to see these. And then they'll stop showing them to you, or they'll stop showing up in your newsfeed. So you need a business page in order to run ads, for sure. The content is sometimes paired with news about social actions that your friends have taken. I've mentioned that before. If they like the page, you might be seeing something because they're not targeting you. Maybe they're targeting your friend, and you happen to be a like for that person. So you got the whole lookalike thing going on. Your friends might see new news on social media on the social actions you have taken in their ads. Again, I just explained all that. So sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's about your friends. And sometimes for your friends, it's about something you've done. And now they're going out there and da. So you do have a whole turn this off. I don't want to see these ads. As soon as you see them, you can click on the 3 dots and you can turn them off. But I don't turn mine off. I want to see why this ad showed up for me. what am I learning from this? And then if Facebook doesn't sell your info to advertisers, I put an asterisk there. That's from Facebook's site. Facebook says they don't sell your info to advertisers. All right. You can believe what you want to believe. I don't believe it, so I put an asterisk there because they do. They're not necessarily directly saying they're selling a list, but they are allowing people to target other people based off of habits people have online. So it is what it is. And then Facebook actively enforces their policy. Again, I have to put that in there as a disclaimer because this is what they say, that they actively enforce policies to help protect your experience in your third-party apps and ad network. Okay, we'll just go with that. So what is it going to do for you? Okay, so the things that running Facebook ads can do for you, the advantages of advertising. It's used for brand awareness. So session 1 or 2, we talked about creating your brand. So important, especially if you plan on doing this long term and maybe you're selling some amazing makeup product, or you got some kind of great pet product, or you're really good at, I don't know, drawing or something. Whatever it is you want to sell, whatever the product is, or service, maybe you're not selling a physical product, you're selling a service. Facebook advertising can help you with brand awareness. Traffic, help you get traffic to your store, help with engagements, help you with conversions, help you generate leads, people that are interested in things. So again, we're going to go down that path of, finding things that people might be interested in and driving traffic to your store. Of course, that is the whole goal, is to drive traffic to your store. Okay. So, clicking, there we go. Why should you advertise on Facebook? Facebook ads do work. Yep. Your audience is on Facebook. Maybe they are. Maybe some of your audiences, I don't know what you're selling. So some of your audience may be on Facebook. Clearly, people have had a love-hate relationship with Facebook. It is what it is. And, they're like, I got to uninstall this app and I'm sick of it. But then something happens and you got to go to Facebook to go find it. I don't know. So decide what you want to do. I'm not telling you should run Facebook ads. I just want you to know why you possibly should and what are some of the benefits. Okay. It can actually help you get more traffic to your store. There are lots of sellers that do run Facebook ads. Well, before you run Facebook ads, again, if you do a really, 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 really good job of doing the analysis about the product that you're getting ready to sell, what the audience looks like, or who would be buying this product and what would they use it for, how would they use it, this is going to make your life a whole lot easier and you don't have to spend as much time on Facebook ads. Okay? You just don't. So, just go through the list. So here's how you go and create a Facebook ad. You're going to step through this. So you're going to have to create a pixel. That pixel is what you're going to be adding to your back office for Shopify. So how do I get here? Actually, there's a page that's before this. Those icons, there's like 5 buttons at the top of your Facebook page. Hold on. After you create your fan page, you do have to create a fan page first. So let me go here. I don't know what's over here. So this is my page. And so if I go to home, click on home. When I click on home here, I have an ads manager. If I go, I can start from ads manager and go from there. So going into ads manager, this little icon, the little Facebook icon will change to like my business ads manager kind of thing. And then from there, you can begin the process. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. So we're not going to look at my stuff. But anyway, you get the idea. So, so you're going to click on the home and then click on Ads Manager. You may also have Facebook for Business. I have that installed on my phone. That's another thing that you can use, Facebook for Business. So once you go there, you'll have some menu items that are going to be on this side of the screen. You can choose event manager. Then once you go to event manager for the fan page that you created. So you got to create the fan page. And then once you create the fan page, you can go down this process. Click on overview and then click on pixel conversion. So that's how you create a pixel. What that pixel is going to do is when you're seeing things show up randomly as you're traveling all over Facebook, or sometimes if you're traveling all over the internet, it is the pixel that is picked up. Hey, you visited this page, meaning maybe you were looking for pillows for your house, and I happen to have a store that sells pillows. So you did a Google search for pillows, or you did a search on Facebook for pillows, and my Facebook fan page came up, and you saw some really cute pillows on my Facebook fan page because I am smart enough to advertise my products on my fan page. So everybody's going to create a fan page. They're going to put their products on the fan page. So then you click on one of the images, or you go to the about section and you click on my store link because you really like these pillows. One or the other is happening. And you can add your products directly to Facebook, and people can buy through that if you want to as well. But in any case, you click on my link, and now my Facebook pixel that's attached to my Shopify store has just been notified that Jane Doe came from Facebook to your store. Let's follow Jane. That's how they do that. That's what the pixel is doing. It is picking up information to say, where did this person come from and where's the person going? So that I can keep showing Jane this pillow that Jane was interested in because she came to my page. So that's how that happens. There's more stuff that's happening behind the scenes, but in theory, that's how that's happening. Okay. So as I mentioned before, I went to Ads Manager. I have a business manager for Facebook. So I click on the little house. And if I had waited for a second, I could have saw this before. But anyway, I click on the house. Step 2, go to business manager. Mine said ads manager. That's fine. I probably could have scrolled down and found ads manager. But anyway, ads manager. Then once I go to ads manager, step 3, I'm going to get ready to create a campaign. So I can click on create, and you'll see these 2 sets here for ads. So you are a person that has never created Facebook ads. This is the section you want to watch because I actually do walk through creating a Facebook ad. So then the next thing is once you click on that, you're going to go to this place where I'm on create a new campaign. And what type of campaign do I want to create? Do I want to create a traffic or conversion campaign? Do I want to store traffic campaign? Do I want to create a lead generation campaign? Like what kind of campaign do I want to create? If you don't know what all these terms mean, you might want to just Google them first before you decide which one you're going to choose. So brand awareness means you want more people to know about your brand, especially if you're doing branding. Reach is you want to reach more people and have them come back to your store. So maybe you're not necessarily driving a boatload of traffic. You just want to increase the awareness. And so people can see your stuff. So you want to reach more people. Traffic, again, is traffic. Engagement, you want to have more people interact with whatever it is that you're offering, selling, posting, whatever. App install is not going to go over that. Video views. So again, you're trying to increase the video views on a particular item. So maybe you have a little GIF video for a product that you're selling and you can do video views. And then again, that may convert people to come and buy stuff from you. Lead generation to get more email addresses and or potential buyers and then send messages. The next one is conversions. Conversions is getting people to buy, close out a transaction, purchase. Catalog sales is product again, and then traffic to your store. So you need to decide which one you're going to do, whichever one makes sense for you. And then you're going to click continue. Based on what you choose, this may change slightly. It's going to be close to the same. So you have to name the campaign. Okay. And you're going to create an ad set for the campaign. So maybe you're going to run multiple ads, and each one of the ads themselves will be an individual ad. So, maybe you're going to say, okay, these are all of my Valentine's Day ads, and these are all my Christmas ads, and these are all my Mother's Day ads. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Then the next thing, once you choose the ad set, and then you say, okay, this is maybe Mother's Day ad number 1, or this is Mother's Day ad for 4 weeks out, whatever it happens to be. So I just made some stuff up. so that I could get through the exercise. And you need to say your fan page. So if you didn't create your fan page, you're not going to be able to, actually, you won't even be able to get this far if you don't have a fan page, period. Because you're not even going to get the business manager. You're not going to get the ad stuff. What you see if you're running ads is off of your personal Facebook account. So you do need a business account to even go down this rabbit hole. So you name it, and then you're going to go ahead and click continue. From there, I'm going to move this over just a second. Sorry, I'm going to move this floating thing. So now we're going to move down the path of preparing or creating this ad. So ad details, I, for whatever reason, chose reach. That's my objective. But yours would say whatever it is that you chose. Spending limits, you can come in here and you'll have the opportunity to edit some of this stuff and put in what is applicable to you. If you want to do A/B testing is meaning I want to run 2 ads for the same thing. One ad is maybe using one text and another ad is using a completely different text. Let's compare them side by side and see which one is doing better. Or one is using one image with the same text and another is using a different image with the same text. Which one of these gets more clicks? Which one of these gets more views? So that's A/B testing. And then budget optimization. So if you have some things set on for automatic, meaning you're going to let Facebook automatically decide what you're willing to spend, how much you're willing to spend, what you want to go to what, then you want to optimize that budget. So if I'm not getting enough clicks or views or conversions, depending on what you chose up here, I need you to change something in the setting. So this is where you kind of want to optimize that listing. Okay. So I'm going to set a budget for my accounts. My daily budget is $5. So here is my tip to you. If you're going to run Facebook ads when you're starting this journey of e-commerce, just run Facebook ads that are $5 ads. $5, 30 days is $150. So what type of budget do you need in place in order to do marketing? At least do $5 ads. And if you are working to get better at running ads over time, then what I would encourage you to do is like once a week. I'm in the middle of this eCom planning session, so this is like a segue into that indirectly. But as one of the things that we say in our weekly planning sessions, I need to set aside time to learn something. I'm going to set aside at least an hour, 30 minutes to an hour every single week to learn something, to get better at something. So this is where I would put Facebook ads, and I would work on for the next quarter every single week for 1 hour for 12 weeks. Let me learn something new about Facebook ads. Let me tweak my Facebook ads. Let me change my Facebook ads. Let me see what kind of result I get with my Facebook ads. And over time, you will get better and better at Facebook ads. There's no way that if you're spending an hour every single week for 12 weeks, that you will not get better at creating Facebook ads. You will not get better at targeting. It's just impossible for you not to get better at it. It's just like a person that decides, okay, now if you did it every single day, of course you get better faster. But again, you're building the muscle of learning from the mistakes and or learning from the process and getting better at creating those ads. So, just imagine if you were like practicing to learn how to ride a bike. You never rode a bike before. So if I practice once a week for 1 hour, I should be able to, at the end of 12 weeks, be really good at riding a bike. That's the whole point. That's the whole premise. So you're just whittling away at it a little bit at a time. Put this in your budget, $5, Facebook ads, $150. If you need to put it in your budget for 90 days, 150 times 3 is $450. Put it aside so that way you don't have to think about it and just play with the ad. So you can tweak it, see what works, what doesn't work, change the words, change the targeting, all that stuff, okay? So hopefully that makes some sense as you kind of step through this. And then you're going to scroll down to your page and you're going to create your audience. So when you're creating your audience, I mentioned before about this whole lookalike. I mentioned lookalikes. I mentioned, so you see lookalike is in here a whole bunch. You can target audiences based off of their actions. things that they do, their behaviors, that kind of stuff. You can target audiences based on those things. Okay, so the way that you target audiences, oops, move this. Sorry, I got to move this little guy. Demographics, interest, behaviors. Okay, demographics, interest, behaviors. So demographics, you can target a specific audience based on demographics, male, female, blah, blah, blah. Interest, maybe they're interested in flying kites. Maybe they're interested in cars. Maybe they're interested in decorating. So again, if I'm selling pillows, I'm going to go after people who maybe are interested in, if pillows is an option, buying home furnishings and decorating. It's probably one of the things I would target. I might also, because of this, I might also target like real estate agents or people who do the whole, what is it, like those designers that prep a house, like I forget what they're called for whatever reason. So that kind of stuff, people that are interior decorators, that kind of thing. If there's people that are interested in crafts and maybe they do things with cloth. So again, interests, and then behaviors. Behaviors, the one behavior that you absolutely positively must make sure you add is that they are buyers. Okay, they are buyers. If you want to get more conversions to your Shopify store, make sure you choose the behavior of buyers. Seriously. So there's going to be a bunch of other behaviors that are there. You can, go after people who like maybe a certain home interiors page, or people who like a certain home interiors direct decorator, or people that are interested in, like, you can go down that rabbit hole. This is your opportunity to play with Facebook ads. Play with it, play with it, play with it. So I literally gave you the complete navigation on how to get to this and how it works. And I walked you through it. All you have to do is just come back and watch this video over and over again, like, oh, okay, I got it now. And then you save this audience and run the ad. Now, I will tell you, there are certain things, Facebook is fickle. She is a fickle queen. There are certain things that Facebook will not like, and there are certain things that Facebook will be okay with. So you just need to be prepared for that. They may decline your ad, and so then you have to tweak it and then resubmit it again, and they may decline it again. And then you have to tweak it and resubmit it, and they may decline it again. The one thing I do want to encourage you not to do is, like, there's that button that shows up on your fan page after you create it, not on the page itself, but it'll show up somewhere. It says promote here. Don't click on promote, because then it's just completely, Facebook is choosing 99%. I mean, if you want to test that, test it. Let me just say that. If you want to test the promote button, feel free to test it. Okay? Test it all you want to. But the other thing I would do is I would run another ad. So make sure you put some money aside to run multiple ads. If you want to split up your $5, do $250 and $250, you can go for that as well. But again, I would not choose to promote. I would literally work on the things that I learned about the people who are interested in my product. Why would this person buy this thing? What is this thing? And who is the person that actually would buy this? And why are they buying it? How will they use it? So once you kind of better understand that, because I think, for the most part, people that are creating Shopify stores, most of the time they are being intentional about what it is that they're going to sell. If I'm doing retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, I have one objective. I got to go find profitable products to just sell. And that is sometimes a complete random group. There are times where people are very strategic about their online arbitrage and retail arbitrage. So maybe they're only selling baby stuff, or maybe they're only selling automotive stuff or whatever. And so that's more of an intentional type of thing. But if you're just being generic, you're not being intentional about that. But when you are focused on a specific audience, you better understand what their habits, activities are. It makes it easier over time to get better at creating ads to target them and to put your product in front of them to get them to buy your product or drive them to your store. Once you get them to your store, it's up to you to convert them. So get them to your store, and you have to convert them based on how your store looks, based on their checkout experience, based on their interaction with you, based on the emails that they receive. It is your job to capture them, captivate them, and give them an amazing customer experience. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I think somebody tried to raise their hand. I don't know. Hold on. I gotta go look. Hold on. Okay, so someone raised their hand. Go ahead and ask your question, or can you type it in the chat? You want to unmute? Tell me what you want to do. What's your question? Hello? All right, I will wait until you're ready to talk. You can unmute yourself if you want to ask the question, or you can just type it in the chat, one or the other. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that made sense to you all. And I will keep going. All right, so Facebook Insights. As you're going down this Facebook journey, I talked about like demographics. You've got gender, lifestyle, education, employment, pages that they like. Kind of mentioned all of those. So if you have that data before you start building the Facebook ad, you're going to build a much better Facebook ad. If you sit down and think about your product or products and how our customers are going to interact with your product, use it, how is their life going to be changed or transformed by your product when they get it? What's the experience they're going to have once they get it? It's going to make it easier for you to come back and go, oh yeah, so my customers, because I'm selling this pillow, they probably like this home interiors page, and they probably like HGTV, and they probably like this, and they probably like the store at home. Hopefully that's starting to make sense. So I'm going to go after people who like the page at home. I'm going to go after those people who like the page HGTV. I'm going to go after these people who like this particular home interior decorator or whatever. And then I can target them and continue to get better at my Facebook ads game. Okay. Where do they live? What's their usage? So all of this Facebook Insights is going to give you some insight. Once you create your ad, you're going to see this grid of information about the people who either saw your ad, clicked on your ad, and interacted with it, whether they clicked on it to learn more. And you also get to control what button they see. Like they could shop now, they can put the shop button there, you can put the learn more, you can, whatever you want to do. But again, you're going to play with Facebook ads, and you put this on your daily activity as part of the things, your weekly, activity, a part of the things that you do if this is one of the skills that you want to improve. I want to get better at Facebook ads. And here's my deal. I'm going to encourage you to get better with Facebook ads in quarter 1, 2, and 3, because you need to use those skills in quarter 4. So figure out your window where you want to learn this and do it in advance so that when you get to quarter 4, you can maximize the amount of money that you make. I'm just saying. And I'm not going to say that the Facebook algorithm doesn't change. It always is constantly changing. It changes all the time. So again, playing with the tool, getting comfortable with the tool, getting better at understanding it is going to make things better for you over time. You're not going to come out, just like when you first started selling online, maybe you didn't have a home run in your first week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. I don't know. Hopefully it's not 2 years. But, when you first started selling, maybe you found something that nobody was buying. Like, oh, so people aren't buying ukuleles. Okay, I probably shouldn't have bought this pallet of ukuleles. Like, you were like, okay. You will get better at sourcing over time. It's the same thing with Facebook ads. You'll get better at it over time. So I hope that makes sense. So now we're going to talk about Instagram and Instagram ads. Again, you can run ads on Instagram. I would encourage you, as we talked about in session 1 or 2, get the social media real estate, and you can just park it initially until you're ready to do something with it. So we're going to get our store up and running first, and then we're going to bring our pages up after our store is up and running. Okay. So again, you need to have you need to have a strategy for posting on your social media for Facebook. You also need to have a strategy for posting on Instagram. I don't know if the little schedule box is there or not. If somebody knows the answer to that question, you can tell me. Again, because my gram game is not as strong as I would like for it to be. So this is what some of the Instagram ads might look like. And again, these are just grabbing random Instagram ads. You'll notice that you also have the 3 dots over there. And I grabbed these from my mobile device because I couldn't, initially when I was creating my training, which I created this a while ago, like over a year ago, I couldn't figure out how to bring up Instagram on my computer and at the same time, and actually be logged in at the same time on my phone. Like I kept getting this error, so whatever. So I would have done the computer pictures over the phone pictures. But anyway, these are my phone pictures. And you'll see that you have the 3 dots, and the same 3 dots serve the same purpose because why? Facebook owns Instagram. Or Meta owns Facebook and Instagram, whatever. So some information about Instagram, they have over 1 billion active users. Like Facebook, I think is the 3 billion. So, Facebook clearly has more. 95 million photos get posted on Instagram every single day. This is like photo land. So since this is photo land, this is a perfect place for what? Your products. The perfect place for what? People to see pictures of your product. So I have to say, one of our leaders, her gram game is so tight. It's just amazing. I love watching her post every single day. I watch it in envy, which is really bad because I shouldn't envy her, but her gram game is tight. I can't even be a hater. Okay, it's nice. So 71% of US businesses have an active Instagram account. So that doesn't mean that there are 71% are all successful at it. There is an art to it. So here is my suggestion to you. Write it down. I would encourage you, once you've kind of done the whole analysis on the stores that you feel like you're in their neck of the woods, you guys are in the same wheelhouse, you kind of looked at the store layout, you kind of looked at the store colors, kind of looked at how the store is set up. Again, not mirroring exactly what the store is doing, but again, we're in the same wheelhouse. So maybe you're selling home pillows, and there was a store that you looked at that had home interiors. They were selling pictures and blanket throws and lamps and whatever else. So it's still in the home category. You kind of investigated that particular Shopify store. You went and looked at their Facebook fan page. Look at the Facebook fan page. How is it laid out? The Facebook fan page should have the same look and feel. And what were the pictures that they're posting on Facebook? Then go look at their Instagram. What is the look and feel? It should be very similar to your Shopify store. So again, there should be a continuity between your Shopify store and your Facebook store, or your Shopify page, and you need to set up a business account. Your Shopify page, your Facebook page, and your Shopify store. Okay, so your Facebook page and your Instagram page, they should look similar. There should be some similarities so that people know, oh, there's a connection here. When you come to it, it should be natural and organic. And remember, in your footer, you're putting on your social media assets. So think about that as well. So if this is a similar store that has home interiors, you're selling pillows, then what's happening on this home interiors Instagram page? What are they posting? How often are they posting? What do their posts kind of look like? Sometimes when we're first starting and we're trying to figure out what to do, just like when we were babies, like we mirrored and mimic what other babies did. Good, bad, or indifferent. When we were first trying to figure out our groove, like when we're trying to figure out how to stand up, if we're at the daycare and we see other babies standing up, we try to stand up too. We see other babies going for a toy, we're trying to go for that toy too. So we mirror what other people are doing. When we see other babies eating, we eat too. So it is part of that journey of we do mirror what we see as we become adults, like we become our parents and when we have kids. So whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, we kind of mirror what our environment was. So in this instance, you're trying to get inspiration from the other Instagram page to figure out what you might need to do with your page if this is not your wheelhouse. So my suggestion to you, here's another suggestion, is if you don't know anything about this, step one, get your store up and get your store going and spend a month with your store and just kind of work on tweaking that while learning a little bit about Facebook. Month two, bring up your Facebook fan page. You've done some analysis on other store fan pages. You can decide at that point whether or not you want your fan page to be a store page or not. It doesn't have to be when you bring it up. It could just be a fan page and not a store page. Okay. And then step 3, or in the third month, bring up your Instagram. Or maybe you just want to stick with Facebook. That's fine. If you want to do both, do it over time. Don't try to do it all at the same time, because sometimes you can become overwhelmed and then you don't do anything at all. So take baby steps on this journey. And as you're taking these baby steps on this journey, be inspired by other fan pages or other pages that you've seen, business pages that you've seen, so that you can take the steps to help improve what you're doing over time. But your goal is to try and get as much of this going as possible before Q4, so that when you get to Q4, you are on point. You have gotten better at your keywords, you got better at your titling, you got better at your ads, you got better at everything. So I hope that you take that to heart and actually do that. And you may have to, like I said, bring up your Shopify store. So maybe in month 2, you actually work on email marketing in month 2, and then month 3, you work on Facebook, and month 4, you work on Instagram, whatever. Just spread it out so that you're not freaking out. If you have the capacity and the time to do all of them at the same time, then do that. But if you don't overwhelm yourself. Just take baby steps. So I hope that does bless you. You just know that both of these, Instagram and Facebook, actually do get a lot of traffic. There's a lot of sales that come from Facebook and Instagram. There's a bunch of sales that come from TikTok. Like, those are the top 3 right now where sales are coming from. So if you do $5 ads, you do $5 ads on Facebook, do $5 on Instagram. Now your budget for marketing is now $300 a month. Okay, $5, 30 days, $150, times 2 platforms, that's $300. Okay. So what types of ads can you put on Instagram? You can do photo ads, story ads, video ads, shopping ads, IGTV, Instagram TV, which is longer. It's not Instagram Reels. I think you can do Instagram Reels ads now too. Carousel ads, collection ads, and explore ads. These are all the types of ads that you can do on Instagram. There's a lot of them. And I think there's a 9th one, which is Reels ads at this point. So how to set up your Facebook account. Sorry, Instagram. I just said Facebook. Instagram account. So let's need to make sure I didn't cut off anything. Yeah, I did. So from your mobile device, you can create your Instagram store. You can download the app from the Google Play Store, install the app, and then sign up using, create your account from there. If you're going to do it from the computer, again, go to Instagram.com and click on sign up. And then it may ask you to sign up using your Facebook account. So don't be surprised by that. Otherwise, you can create an account, use an email to register, and go from there. So now you have created an account. Now I got to convert this account to a business account. So you may have only up to 5 Instagram accounts at a time. I don't even know if I violated this yet. I don't know. I probably have, but I need to go look. But anyway, you're supposed to be limited to up to 5 Instagram accounts. So from a standpoint of your business accounts, you're going to go in once you have created your Instagram account, you're going to convert that account to a business or professional account. So you're going to choose to click, once you go in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to tap on to switch the account under settings, and you're going to change it to a professional account and click business. And so you're going to go through that process of converting it to a business account. And again, at that point, it may ask you to connect it to your Facebook page. So, and then click done. So that's how you take a regular Instagram account and convert it to a business account. Okay. So I can't see this, how to run Instagram ads. So there's 3 ways to run them. You can run them directly from Instagram. You can run them from your Facebook, or you can run them from your Facebook Ads Manager. If you've connected your Facebook page, business page to your Instagram business page, you can run it from there. So it's pretty cool that once you set it up on the Facebook side, you can also run it on the Instagram side. So one of the things that you can do is, if you want to run them both at the same time, instead of creating 2 different sets of ads, unless you're doing a split test, You could just go ahead and just increase the budget from $5 to $10 and make sure that you choose Instagram over there, because you'll have some Instagram options over in your window on the side. So that's another way to do that. So how to create ads on Instagram. You're going to go to your profile, click on promotions, click on post. You're going to create a post, and you'll step through this process, which I think you can see all of this. And you're going to submit it. The approval process is very similar to going through the approval process for for Facebook. The thing you need to keep in mind, I clearly have Amazon on my brain. The thing you need to keep in mind is that, again, once that Instagram is a picture-driven platform. Facebook is a picture-driven platform too, but there's also conversations happening on Facebook more so than they are on Instagram. The other thing is that you also can do like some Instagram lives where you're showcasing your product. That may be an opportunity for you to get sales. I know that they have like on Facebook, they have the Facebook shopping, which is your Facebook shopping live. And then you also have on Instagram, you can do the live sessions where you're showcasing your product as well. So Instagram is all about pictures and things like that. Can you run ads every other day if possible? I have never looked at that setting. It probably does exist. I have not looked at that setting. I mean, like you could run a one-day ad and keep the template and then go back in the next day and or put a date that you wanted to start, because you do have date settings. So yeah, I guess you could. We have to just clone that ad. I don't remember seeing a setting where run the ad every other day. But again, I would just clone the ad maybe, and that may be the solution. And you can submit a question and ask that question, because I've never done that. But if I were going to do it, I would take an ad and I would just run it for one day, clone the ad, schedule it to run the next day, clone the ad again, schedule it to run the next day. Now, if you try to run ads every other day, the thing you need to know is that once you've submitted the ad, you have to wait on Facebook. You have to wait on Instagram to respond. And sometimes they respond immediately with it's approved and like within a couple of hours. And sometimes it's like like a day or longer. And if you submit and they deny, then you submit again and they deny, and then you submit again and they deny, and you submit again and they finally approve, like you've lost potentially that entire day. So, I think the option, I don't see the option. I've not seen it. And it may be because from a logical standpoint, it may not make sense because it could take forever for your ad to get approved. And then you're into the next day and be like, oh, well, I didn't even get it approved. But now you know what to do for the following day. So that's just a thought. I would ask the question or check the settings, because I have never done that. I've never run it that way. That's a good question, though. All right. So from your ads manager, if you are in Facebook, you do it from your ads manager, you're going to, same thing that we saw on the Facebook side. You're going to go and create it from over there. And then when you get to the placement section, you're going to follow all the same steps in Facebook. If it's easier for you, follow all the Facebook steps if you've connected your Facebook fan page to your Instagram business page. If you've connected them, then step through all those pictures that you've already seen. And when you get to placement, you're going to see Instagram is an option. So there's going to be two columns. There's going to be a column that has all the Facebook and all the Facebook fan pages and all the types of ads. And then you'll see Instagram next to it. And you just click on the checkbox and say, I want to advertise on both platforms. And it'll do placement for ads on Instagram at the same time it's doing placement for ads on Facebook. And it actually gives you a picture of what those ads might look like when you place them, which is pretty cool. Okay. So I didn't put a picture in here. I don't know why I don't have a picture in here. Maybe I'll show a picture next week because I've done that. But anyway, you'll see ads. You'll see a call. When you do placement, it'll show you both sides. Where do I want to place ads? I'm going to place them on Facebook and I want to place them on Instagram. So for me, this is the fastest and easiest way to do both, because again, my gram game, I'm working on it. I'm working on my gram game. Another thing sometimes people will do is take an existing Instagram post and turn that into an ad. That is a common way for people to do that. And so those kind of steps are covered here. Take an existing post and kind of turn it into an ad. So those are two of the most common ways. And these steps are verbatim, step by step, like you literally could just pull up the screen and follow this. Okay. Having the other ones on the Facebook side is also helpful because it's going to take you into the business account, which is going to take you to the ads manager anyway. Okay, so for your social media posting, what are some of the tools you can use for posting? If you, again, I don't know, I need to look on Instagram, like if you can schedule a post to be delayed. I'm actually pulling up my Instagram right now. So I've never looked at that before. I know more about running Facebook and Facebook ads and Facebook posts than I ever know about Instagram. I think my team cracks up because of that. So on Instagram, let me just see. Click on post story, reels live. Let's see if under story, I don't see. Okay. I don't see a schedule anywhere. So I don't think you can schedule it. Yeah, I don't think you can schedule it. So only on Facebook can you schedule posts in advance. So if you don't have a lot of money to be able to do ads, one of the things that might solve your problem is if you sign up for any of these subscriptions, maybe get the lowest subscription rate, schedule your post on your Facebook fan page one at a time, like not one at a time, but like the whole month in advance. And then on your Instagram, use one of these tools, because when you sign up for any of these tools, it's going to say how many social media accounts it will allow you to connect to. So if you've got an Instagram and you've got a Facebook, you got Pinterest, you got Twitter, you got LinkedIn, like that's like 5 different social media accounts and also 5 different platforms. And they may have a limit that says 2 accounts and 1 platform, and they may say 2 accounts and 2 platforms or something like that. So if you have limitations, you have the ability on Facebook to schedule them on the page itself, and you can use the tool for the other stuff. I will tell you, for Instagram, the majority of these tools do not auto post onto Instagram. The one that I know for a fact that does is Later, and I think Sprout Social. The other ones like Buffer and Hootsuite, like Hootsuite, I think just recently started direct posting on Instagram, because Instagram would not allow people for the longest period of time, anybody for the longest period of time, to post using a posting scheduling tool, which is stupid. So they wanted you to post from your phone all the time, and that was the only way you're going to get it. So a lot of these tools, they would not allow, you couldn't do direct posting. You could set it up in your schedule calendar, which is pretty cool in the back office of these tools. But again, you couldn't post directly onto Instagram. That was one of the only ones. So go and look and see if your budget can afford any of these tools. Some of them will allow you to do a free account. I know that when the pandemic first hit, Hootsuite was offering like a 30-day free something, or maybe a 90-day free something. And I've heard through the grapevine that they extended some of that. So go take a look. Some of them may have a free trial. Go play with them, see if you like them. If you can afford it, I would go for the lowest plan that they happen to offer. Do not go for the high plans, and just test with 1 account and then see what works for you. Okay. You may also get your kids, if you got a kid that loves hanging out on social media, have them do their posting for you. Okay. If they're going to be on social media anyway, tell them when they're on social media, they should be making money. So make them go do your posts. Like, are you on social media? Yeah. Okay. So I need you to take 10 minutes right now and go post my stuff, and then you can go back to doing whatever you're doing. So then that way they could help you in your business. Just saying. All right. So now we're going to talk about Google Ads, and then I think we're going to wrap up. But so Google, oh no, we're not going to wrap. Man, we just haven't even, we keep going. So Google Ads is very similar to Facebook Ads, is that you have to develop your campaign first. if you've already done that research, then you've already got your keywords. You already know who you're targeting, why you're targeting, what they're interested in, how this product is going to change their life, what their life will be like once they get it. What is it? What are they going to use it for? What are they going to do with it? All of that stuff. You've already done all that research. So this should not be new to you. You have to do the research when you're buying the product. You have to do the research before you buy it. You got to do the research when you're creating the listing for the product. You got to do the research when you're doing ads for the product. So your goal is to create a product sheet so that you can always reference it for the things that you sell in your Shopify store. It will help you create ads so much faster. It will help you create anything so much faster, create your listing so much faster, all of that. If you create a product sheet for your product, like who's this product for, like a little template, who is this product for? Answer question. What is the, what do they look like? Answer question. Or what do they do? Answer question. How will they use this product? Answer question. What are the key, like all of that stuff. So I think I'm gonna create that template, write it down. Renata, that's next. Okay, so then once you kind of have that information pulled together, and you can do this same thing, creating Bing ads is very similar to creating Google ads, but Bing and Yahoo, much like Amazon and let me just see, what's the comparison? eBay. Like Amazon is king and eBay does get some traffic. So Google is king and Bing and Yahoo do get some traffic. So that's the comparison right there. So how do we create our Google ads? So if you have a Gmail account, when you create your Gmail account, you can go in to your Gmail account. Sorry about that. Go into your Gmail account and you can click on the Rubik's Cube to get started with creating your Google ad. Okay. And it's going to require a credit card, just like on your Facebook. I forgot to mention, Facebook and Instagram is going to require a credit card be on file. So they're going to need a credit card attached to the account. And again, so you need to know that. So you can start from your own Gmail account and click on the Rubik's Cube to start this process. You need to have a budget in mind. How much am I going to spend? Nicole's recommendation for getting started is $5 ads. So now you got $5 ads on Facebook, $5 ads on Instagram, $5 ads on Google. So if I got $5 ads on all of those, and the great thing about Google is you can also use that, you can run ads on Google and YouTube simultaneously, okay? Just like on Facebook, you can run ads on Facebook and Instagram simultaneously. You can do the same thing for Google and YouTube, especially if you've got videos of your product in use, or people receiving your product. Maybe they send you a video of unboxing, and so you're putting them on a YouTube channel. All of that matters because, again, that is just increasing the credibility of your store, your product, and everything about you. So keep that in mind for the future. Don't tackle this all at one time. So Google, $5. So now you're at $4.50 a month in Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and that's it. I would cap it at that. And I would cap it at that for the first 3 months and maybe forever. If you have done a great job with your stuff, because I hear stories all the time. People spending $5,000 and $10,000 a month in Instagram, Facebook, all these ads. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am sick to my stomach. They're going to get a bunch of traffic. But again, if you have a niche where there is a specific audience that's looking for it, and you've done a really good job of doing the keyword research, and you've done a really good job of naming your images and having great images and all of that stuff, and naming your store or your brand or whatever, your audience is going to find you. They're going to find you, and you're going to start organically getting traffic. So the goal is to do all the upfront work so you can spend as little as possible in ads. If you're going to go above that number, like I would cap it at $1,000. Like it's just too much. It's too much. You haven't found a product that people are going to resonate with. That's just a lot of money to spend in ads. So you're going to be into money before you potentially are going to recoup it. That's the reason why I say I cap it. And if you gradually implement this over time, your first month's budget is whatever it happens to be, and $150. And then next month is $150, and maybe we're adding, the next platform. So then it goes to $300. And then the next month after that, we add the next platform, it goes to $450. But I'm just going to hold steady for 3 months, having all three in place to just see what happens. So you do need to have an upfront budget set aside to be able to do this. And so your upfront budget might be having a total over 6 months or 7 months, having like, I don't know, $2,000 just set aside so that you can gradually build up your business. All right, so go, and you need to recoup that with the understanding that you need to exceed $2,000. You need to recoup $450 every single month. You need to recoup it. It doesn't make any sense to run ads and you're not making at least $450. So it needs to, the business needs to pay for itself, and then your goal is to make above the $450. That's your goal, to make above the $450. So if you're signing up for later and then you're signing up for some email provider, that's more expense. So then now you're from $450 up to whatever that number is. Maybe it's $500 a month. Your goal is whatever your total expenses in a month are, you need to exceed that in profit. So that's the goal. All right, so you're going to create the accounts from the Rubik's Cube, and we're going to see that in just a second. Set a budget. You're going to have to pick your keywords. Keyword planner. This is where you can use the keyword planner. So tip, definitely do some research on Google Trends. I think we looked at Google Trends already. And then also create maybe your Google ads first so you can use the tool Keyword Planner. It's free inside of the Google Analytics. It used to be outside of it, and now it's inside of it. So you have to have a Google Analytics account to do that. And use that to do some keyword research. Then take everything, again, you're creating a product sheet, write down everything that you learned on those keywords and use that to create your Facebook ads and Instagram ads when you're ready. So create the Google ads first. So with that being said, we're gonna match words, and we're also gonna use the lovely thesaurus as well to help us with some of this so that we're ready to go. Make sure that your page that you're gonna redirect people to is ready to go. You may have to create some kind of graphic. Sometimes a graphic about your store or about your product, it's helpful. So make sure it's a graphic that's going to pop and it resonates with the type of graphic that would go in a Google ad. How do you figure out what that is? Again, go back to who is my avatar? Who is my buddy on this journey? I'm using, what was the home goods, home whatever. I forgot what I said before. Home goods store, whatever that store was that I said. And I'm selling pillows. What do their Google ads look like? You can always see other people's Google ads. You see the little sponsored by. So do a search and then see what the sponsored by looks like. What do their pictures look like? How are their pictures designed? You want to be inspired by and imitate where possible, where it makes sense, but don't do the same thing. Similar pictures for products from the person who's already got their stuff going. They've already got their Shopify store up. You've looked at their Shopify store, you looked at their Facebook page, you looked at their Instagram page. Now you're going to do just a Google search on them and look at their Instagram ads. So you can see what type of ads when you're asking yourself, what type of picture am I going to use? What is your competitor doing? Or whoever you're being inspired by, what are they doing? So that you don't have to struggle. All right. So how do I do this? I mentioned the Rubik's Cube. I'm going to go and click on the Rubik's Cube and I'm going to scroll down and choose Google Ads. This is the thing you need to know. When you click on the Rubik's Cube, there's a whole bunch under more. So you'll see this little line here. This is moved down. So click on Google Ads. Once you go to Google Ads, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click on New Campaign. Okay, New Campaign. Once I go to New Campaign, the next thing it's going to do is what type of campaign feels similar to Facebook. What type of, I want leads, I want website traffic, I want brand awareness and reach, it's an app promotion, I want local stores. So this is a local ad. So maybe you're selling things locally, so you want it to show up in the local ads, that kind of stuff, product and brand consideration. So you see you have all these options, okay? So yours are probably going to be website. Then after you do that, again, what do you want the ad to show up? So do I want it to show up in the search? Do I want it to show up as a display ad? So they're showing you roughly where the things are going to show up. This is when I type it in the search bar on Google. Imagine with us, it shows up in the results down below. So if you've taken any of my other classes, I've actually done this exercise multiple times where I type in something and then the ads for it show up below, and then the items of whatever it is I'm searching for show up below that. So if there's a paid ad for something, that's going to show up first before the results that are not paid show up, just so you know. So make a note of that. Display ad. So it's an ad that shows up over on the side. Again, this is very similar to what happens with the Amazon ads, is that they have ads that show up on the side, okay? Then if I'm in Google Shopping, or if I'm just in the shopping option, because remember, when you're in Google, you have the all, and then you have like news, and you have video, and you have shopping. Like these are all the things that show up in Google anyway. So if I choose shopping, then the ad's going to show up here, and then the results of whatever I'm looking for are going to show down here. So the page stuff is going to show up first. Video ad, again, if I happen to be in the video option, it's going to be the first one that shows up because it'll show up as sponsored. So again, you see strategically where this stuff is showing up. I hope this makes sense to you guys. Like, where is my ad going to show up? Do I want my ad to show up in the search? Do I want it to show up in the display? Do I want the ad to show up under shopping? Do I want my ad to show up under video? Like, what type of ad is this? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And so if I'm going to go after store visits, you can see like what's the ultimate goal: websites, phone calls, app downloads. Which one do I want? I'm going to give it a name. Should sound familiar. So I create a name. So now I have given it a name. The first thing it's going to do is going to ask me creating an app. So they got a whole template thing to go through. But anyway, so we're going to do budget and bidding is the first thing that's going to show up. So they do have a template. If you want to follow the template, you can do that and just answer some questions. Indirectly, it's kind of like when you're doing TurboTax or H&R Block taxes, and they ask you a bunch of questions and they just fill in the blocks for you, and then the whole form is filled out. Conceptually, it's similar to that. But if you don't want to do that, you can go ahead and do this one at a time. So the first thing is around the budget. You see that they have an average daily budget that you want to set up for your campaign. So this is going to be an individual budget, or you can do a shared budget if you have multiple ads running and you want to share the dollars across all the ads. This would probably work like with if you're doing a split testing of an ad. That's probably the best way to put that. If you want to bid, or you just want to do a fixed amount, I can talk. So if you want people to bid, you can do that. And so you got bidding and budget. And the next thing that you're going to go through is campaign settings. So you're literally going down these 4 boxes to get to your ad. So campaign settings is the next one. So under campaign settings, I've got network, location, language, audience, and dynamic ads. Okay. So network search versus display network, search network versus display network. We talked about those just briefly. I want it to show up this way. I want it to show up in the search, and I also want it to show up in the display. So check that on. Then after I go through, and then the locations, do I want it in the US? Do I only want the US? Do I want it to show up internationally? What do I want it to show up? What languages do I want my ad to be in? So if you use language and you choose something, like you choose English and you choose Spanish or something, just know that they're using Google Translate. So if you're not happy with the results on Google Translate, your ad is going to sound like Google Translate, so heads up. Unless you give it the specific text, so heads up on that. Audience, again, we did some similar audience activity over on Facebook. It's going to be similar to targeting that specific audience, okay? And they're going to ask you for specifics. So if you've got your product sheet, this makes it a whole lot easier for you to say, who is this audience? Who's buying this? Like if it's something for the kitchen, okay, people who love to cook. Maybe it's a convenience item for moms who have kids. And so again, or dads who have kids, it's like a convenience thing. So whatever that product happens to be, if it's a convenient solution, you're going to target, moms, dads, people who have kids, that kind of stuff. And then dynamic ads show up simultaneously somewhere else. So keywords, this is where you're going to enter in the keywords, the words that are going to show up are the words that people are using in the search or that are in the listing itself. Okay. And then the ads themselves, this is where you're going to set up the ad itself. Then the next one is the extension. So do you want it to go back to your website? The answer is yes. Call out extensions. I've not used that, or call extensions, like I've not used those. And then image extensions. So I use site link and image extensions. I've not used the others. You can look at those and see if they apply to you, if you feel like you can use those. And then you're going to review your ad is the last one. Sorry. Reviewing your ad is the very last thing, and you'll actually see your ad. And then you can make a decision on what you're going to do. Like, okay, do I need to edit anything? You can go back through those steps. Okay. So that's a great thing about that. So again, what I would suggest is after you get your page up and you spend a month testing your page and playing with it, if you don't have an info sheet, make sure you create an info sheet for your product or your store, and then go through and do the Google ads. And as you're doing the Google ads, now you'll have access to Keyword Planner. You can use Keyword Planner along with Google Trends to come up with the words, keywords, search terms, the use terms, all of those things and what the product is, and get that nailed down. Then spend a month with that. So now you're into month one, create it. Month two, work on your store and play with your store. Month three, play with the emails and test that. Month four, get your Google ads going. Month five, play with Facebook ads. Month six, play with Instagram ads. Now you've got like a 6-month plan on how you're going to roll this, allow the store to continually grow. If you don't have 6 months to kind of master this, maybe that works for a person that has a full-time job, you can collapse that time and collapse it into 3 months and just break everything down into a shorter window, collapse the activities. But again, if you don't have that knowledge and or experience, you could also outsource your ads. You're going to be paying the expense of somebody else doing the ads for you. And then you also have to pay for the cost of the ads. So keep that in mind. All right. So why, how to be effective at your ads? You need to create a scalable strategy because you're trying to grow your business. You need to diversify your campaigns. Make sure that you have like a couple of ads that you're running so you can do some level of split testing, and make sure that you're running ads on a couple of different platforms over time. You need to optimize those campaigns, meaning maybe I get a better response with these words versus these words. That's the reason why split testing matters. Use Google Shopping for sure. Choose your keywords wisely, definitely. Optimize your targeting. So all of these, like figure out your budget and then track your metrics. What is your ROI? What type of traffic are you actually getting? You need to put it on your schedule to come back and look at what your ads are doing. You can look at them daily or you can look at them weekly. If you're trying to collapse time, you want to look at your ads daily. I would see what my ads are doing over a 5-day period, and that includes a weekend. So I might start with running ads on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then look at the results on Tuesday. See what I need to tweak, change, run ads again. Like continue to tweak until it gets better. Why do I say over a 5-day weekend? Because again, when people get off work, they're going to do some shopping. That's not saying that people don't shop during the week, because they do. They do a lot of shopping when they're at work. So you need to figure out which window you want to run it, but at least run the ads for 5 days and see what happens. Or you can run it for 7 days and see what happens, and then tweak the ad, run it another 7 days, see what happens, tweak the ad, another 7 days, see what happens. Okay. So customer service, because you are running your own Shopify store, you need to make sure that you've created your refund policy, shipping policy, privacy policy, terms of service policy, legal notice. All of that is under settings. You need to make sure you have all your policies set up and you have links to the words. The great thing about Shopify will give you the text, some pre-filled text, and you can just edit that. So you can import text and then just edit that. This is all before your store goes live. Make sure you set up a customer-facing email, phone, or chat. So there is a chat feature inside of Shopify under settings that you can turn on. And then if you're going to integrate with an exterior email tool, make sure that that's connected before you go live, and figure out your phone situation. I believe that I suggested that you set up a Google Voice account at a minimum. Again, go to the Rubik's Cube under your Gmail account. Scroll down, click on more, choose Google Voice, create an account, and then map it to the phone so that way it will ring. And I think I have 2 phone numbers that it rings, but Google will tell you it's coming from Google Voice. Establish a process or schedule to respond to customer inquiries. That should be part of your daily activities. If you're not part of our planning session, I would encourage you to join our daily planning session so that you can build that habit. Because again, customers are directly communicating with you. If you're selling on Walmart, customers are directly communicating with you. You're selling on Amazon, customers are not always directly communicating with you. If you're selling on eBay, customers are sometimes directly communicating with you and sometimes they're not. So depending on which platform you're selling on, like you have some level of customer interaction already. There is no other filter happening on Shopify. You are 100% it. So you need to be ready to roll. Know your products inside and out so you can respond quickly. Absolutely. And try to use positive or neutral language whenever you're responding. So instead of saying something is not in stock, I apologize, this item is not in stock. Not is a negative word. So don't use that word. Just instead reply back instead of saying, I apologize, thank you for your inquiry. This item will be, we'll be able to ship out this item in the next week, or this item will be available next week, instead of saying it's not in stock right now. So taking out the word not, don't use anything negative, choose all positive, neutral words as much as possible when you're communicating with your customer. While your customers with thank you notes, thank you gifts inside, give them a 10% off coupon and put it inside of there. You can get a whole bunch of stuff printed off, like little postcard type cards that you just stuff in there to make it look really nice and professional. Remember branding in your packaging, the customer experience when they get the particular product, and then ask your customer for feedback and make sure you share those testimonials on your Shopify store page if you can. You can create another section at the bottom of your Shopify section before the footer where you put your testimonials from customers. So definitely do that. All right. That was a lot on ads. I hope that's helpful to you all. I wanted to let you know what the integration options are with your Shopify store. So there's a bunch of integration options, and this gets installed under apps. So again, when you go to the little eyeball for your online store, under the eyeball for your online store, you'll see apps as an option. And when you click on apps, this is where you can integrate or add apps to your store. So there's an app for Amazon that is like taking your Amazon listings and you can push them over to your Shopify store. App for eBay, Walmart, Etsy, Google Shopping, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. That's why I was saying, if you don't want to start with a Shopify, Facebook, and Shopify Instagram right now, as far as a store is concerned, you can just start as a business page. You can convert it later if you want to. And then you also have some integration apps I mentioned before about using a fulfillment center. These are some of the ones that are already there. So you got Deliver, ShipBob, TaxJar, Shopify. This is not all of them. This is just some of them. So I want you to know that you can push your listings. You can grab your listings from other platforms and import them into Shopify, and or you can take your listings from Shopify and push them, in some cases, over to the other platforms. Not all of them have the reverse going on. So do some research based on the apps and what you can and cannot do. Okay. So let me do this before we get too far, because I do Shopify apps. This is the Shopify App Store, and we're going to talk about more Shopify apps next week. When you log into your Shopify store, you'll be able to see it. So if I choose Amazon, you're going to see that there's a whole bunch of apps that are available for integrating your store from Shopify to Amazon and back and forth. Okay. There's a bunch of apps, a bunch of apps. It's based off of what my search was. My search was Amazon, and it's saying, okay, give me all the options. So there's 410. If you want to know how many apps exist for Shopify, I believe it's like more than that. Sorry, gotta mess that up. Over 10,000. I know it's a big number. I've looked at it before. I just don't remember what the number is. Let me just do a search real quick. Let me clear this. I don't know what the master number is. It's a big number. Browse apps. 6,000. There you go. So there's over 6,000 apps. So if I am looking for a specific thing, I'm going to go over here and I want to see Amazon. I can look at the Amazon apps. And if you're not familiar with what the app does, here's some tips for you. Couple of tips. One, look at the rating of the app and the number of downloads. Okay. Look at the rating of the app and the number of downloads. Some of these apps are going to be free and some of them are going to be paid. I want to suggest that you start off with the free at first if you're going to integrate an app to your store, because it doesn't cost you any money. You can upgrade to a paid app later on, but just getting started, you can integrate a free app into your store. So look at the ratings and the number of downloads, okay? And then I like to take it a step further, and I like to go and look at the negative responses, because I am that person. I want to see what people are saying. And so I want to go see what the issues are that people were having. And I want to see how recent were those issues. So I go to the negative. And so this looks like, okay, whatever that issue is, that was November the 7th. And I actually do read them before I decide I'm going to attach an app to my store. Okay, so it looks like something weird was going on last year that clearly was a problem. And all these people had negative feedback on this particular app. So read what it is so you can make a decision. Read if you feel like that's relevant or valuable to you, and you can go from there. I do that same thing when I'm buying products or sourcing products, is I go look at the ratings. I also look to see, what's happening, what the negative has to say, and how many of them are there, and whether or not it's relevant to me and what I'm trying to do. Okay. So go look at the apps in the App Store. You can Google the Amazon and decide which ones you want to use. The ones that are the most popular are always going to be at the top, meaning the most common are going to be at the top. And the ones, and you see that there's ads there. People are paying for that space. Okay. This one has 2,562 downloads. So I can sort this by most installed. Okay. So if I go to most installed, so it says Sprocket is, this is just paid. So I'm going to go down here. Most installed is Amazon by code. Stowe. I don't know what it is. They got 4.3. I'm trying to stay at least at 4.5 and above, but I'm interested in whatever's going on. So we've got the spreader, Amazon importer. You can go read what this one does. This one is 4.1. So this is Amazon dropshipper Walmart. I don't know that I would probably use that. So I'm going to go look at this one. And then most of the time they'll have a video over here that you can watch. This one really does not have a video at all. Wow. So it talks about what this thing does. Okay. Most of the time they have a video like right here, but okay. Then you can read what it does, and you can look at the pictures about what it does and see if this is what you want and what you need. And then the other thing I do is I go and look at the reviews and see what the negatives have to say. Clearly, the positives outweigh the negatives. So I'm just trying to see if they had any recent problems. Because again, software is software, and sometimes there are glitches. It happens. Software is software, and sometimes there are glitches. So I just like to be mindful of, they're going through some glitches right now. So come in here, check. You can just Google a Shopify App Store or Shopify apps, and it'll take you to the App Store. Do a search if you feel like you want to bring over any of your listings from eBay, Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, whatever, and also what the apps are that are available to integrate to Facebook and Instagram, if those are platforms you're going to do later, or Google Shopping. And this will simplify your life. It will automatically create listings on those platforms for you, depending on which app you choose. Okay, let me go back. Any questions on that? Just wanted to point that out to everybody real quick. And this is, again, not all of the integration apps, but I did want to tell you about the sales channels, because you can get sales, of course, on all these platforms if you're selling on those platforms. And I will tell you, Shopify to Walmart integrations, a lot of them will allow you to apply the Walmart one will allow you to apply for a Walmart account. If you don't already have a Walmart account and you're thinking about doing that, just remember that Walmart wants you to have like an established business EIN, not a social security number, to create your account. So if you don't have that pulled together and you don't have any selling experience, there's a high probability you will not get approved to sell on Walmart. Okay. So some things to keep in mind. This is not relevant for right now, but it will be later on. You're going to get better at what you're doing with your Shopify store right now. You're going to continue to perfect it every single month over time. And as you perfect it and you get closer to Q4, around August, September, you're going to come back and look at this video and you're going to go through, okay, these are some of the things I need to strategically prepare for Q4. I need to create some discount offers. What am I going to sell for Q4? I'm ordering my inventory. So I'm going to order my inventory in June or July, or maybe I order it in April for Q4. If I'm ordering inventory, if I'm doing drop shipping, and maybe I start some of my research early and see what's going to be available. But I'm going to order some maybe free shipping. I need to be prepared for that. I need to put that on my list. Maybe I'm going to offer some product bundles. I'm going to put some bundles together, virtual and or physical. I'm going to cross sell items. I'm going to set up my Google, like this should already be set up. But anyway, the point is that this is something that you want to do definitely before you get into Q4, so that as you get closer and closer to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you're doing the planning in advance. Again, join our planning session. You will not disappoint, trust me. And you want to make sure that you optimize your website for speed, for sure. Make sure that your images, the size of your images matter, how fast your page is coming up, and you can see your speed statistics on your dashboard in your Shopify store. Okay. So I think this is the end. We're just talking about calculating your profit, and I indirectly feel like I've already covered this last week, but because it's here in the slides, we'll go ahead and go over it again. The biggest thing that you need to keep in mind, I said that you need to know what the cost of shipping is, estimated shipping is going to be for the item that you plan on selling. You can get some numbers. So the biggest thing is trying to figure out your profit, your revenue, cost of goods sold, and then your shipping costs, ad spend if you're spending ads. So you need to estimate, like if you spend $150 a month in ads, just put an estimated amount per products that you're selling, what's your estimated cost. And then your processing fees for that particular platform, every processing fees. And then if there's any additional custom spend, you have to keep that in mind. But your goal is to figure out ultimately what your profit is and to get to, whether or not this item is going to make you money. That's ultimately what you're trying to get to. That's your goal. Okay. So I've broken down some of the things like what goes on each one of the categories: cost of goods sold, your ad spend, your processing fees. Again, every platform has fees. So you will have fees from your Shopify payments when you set it up. There are going to be fees that you're going to have to deal with. Shopify is going to charge you some money. So when you make a sale after a certain period of time, if you want that money deposited automatically into your bank account, you're going to integrate under Shopify payments. You're going to attach your bank account information. But just know that, the amount that you're going to receive, there's the processing fees for that platform, and then the Shopify fees. So you need to know what they are so that you're prepared to deal with that or incorporate that expense into your plans for budgeting and or, budgeting and expenses. Okay. And then I have custom spend. I mentioned software here, but again, if you, and the cost of your Shopify plan that you're on, I would recommend staying at the $29 until you have more inventory or until your revenue warrants you increasing to a higher level. Otherwise, stay on the lower end. There are two calculators that we have here to help you calculate your profit margins. But again, you have reports in your back office for calculating your profit margins. So you can go and look at the store information in your dashboard, main menu, finances overview, and also main menu, analytics, dashboard, and reports. So I think we're going to see those right now. So here's overview for, I think this is finances overview, and some of the information that you're going to see under finances overview. Again, based off of you created a listing and you put in an estimated cost, or you put in a cost for this particular item. And then every time it sells, then Shopify is doing some estimated numbers. These are not actuals. These are estimated costs. Shopify knows how much they're charging you. Shopify knows what you gave it as the cost. Shopify knows how much they're charging you every single month for your membership. So they're charging you for processing the item, which is like 50 cents or something like that. So they know what all of the things that they're charging you. But again, this is still not 100% accurate. So as you scroll down, you'll also see taxes collected because they're calculating taxes once you set up your taxes. That's on your list of things to do this week, is to calculate your taxes. Sorry, set up your, finish your setup for your shipping and your taxes. And if you're going to integrate with a fulfillment center, set up your integration this week as well. You can do that. Here's your apps here. If you go under the eyeball, you'll have more options for your integrations down below there. And then overview dashboard, which you see as far as how your store is performing. So again, you can be looking at this on a daily basis to see where you are on this journey, what your numbers look like, what is your store progressing, how many sales are you getting? And then this will give you some insight if you need to go in and tweak some of your ads as well. But you'll log into like your Facebook Ads Manager, Google Ads Manager to see what the information looks like. It normally shows up as a pie chart or some grids chart, either a pie chart or a graph chart, so you can see who is coming to your page, what the clicks are, and all that other stuff for your paid ads. And then you have reports, a bunch of reports that are available to you that you can run on a regular basis to see how things are going in your business and what's happening in your business. Okay. So that's under reports. Again, this is from your dashboard. All right. So how do I increase my profit margin? Because we talked about profits just a second ago. You got to reduce your operating expense. That's usually what I keep saying. Do the free stuff first. Go for free apps if you can. Get the lowest plan on email marketing, but don't use that until you're ready to start focusing on email marketing. If you're trying to do all this at the same time, you will never focus on email marketing while you're trying to run ads, because then you're trying to work on ads and you're trying to work, like, just do one thing at a time. If you've got help to be able to help you with this, that's fine. If this is your full-time gig, then maybe segment out your day so that you have time to focus on Facebook ads, focus on emails, and you can focus on those, like your email marketing game and your strategy and email copy and all of that. Maybe you focus on that for 2 weeks, then you move to focus on Google ads for 2 weeks, then you move to focus on Facebook ads for 2 weeks. Like that way you can at least have some dedicated focus time and see what you need to tweak about the process. Increase your trustworthiness of the store. Make sure your store looks as professional as possible. The way I taught you to create the store and the things to look for, you can't go wrong with those. Like, you want the store to look legitimate and not fake. If it looks like it's just been thrown up and it's a mom and pop versus a professional looking store, you need to either take better pictures, focus on the things that are going to make your store look better, focus on the things that are going to make your store look like it's a legitimate store. Make sure you're filling out the header and the footer, especially the footer. They need to know how to contact you. If there's no phone number or address, people are not going to want to do business. Do you buy things from sites where they don't have addresses or phone numbers where you can actually talk to somebody? Probably not. So think like them, because you are you're a customer too. So increase your average order value over time. This is something you can do as you get better at the store. You can raise your prices. That's always the thing that you can do. But, maybe you give them a little something extra every single time they buy something from you. Then you have a situation where you have repeat customers. When you have repeat customers, you can create a customer loyalty program. Again, give them a reason to keep coming back. If you keep sending them their product and it always has a 10% off, I would always come back. I'd choose you over somebody else. Or maybe you give them a freebie, something that doesn't cost you a lot of money, but is beneficial to them. So again, what are the freebies that you can get for 25 cents, 10 cents, whatever, $1 that you can throw into the box and keep the customer satisfied, that they feel like they're having a great experience with you and they won't go somewhere else. And again, you can raise the prices to raise your profit margin, but figure out how to increase that average order value. Bundles are definitely going to help with that. Okay, so review this video, finish setting up your shipping, do your setup, finish your setup pages, do your payments page, Look at email marketing providers. Also look at the Facebook ads, Instagram, all of that. Figure out what your strategy is going to be. Maybe put together a schedule so that you can figure out when you're going to roll these things out in your business. And I have create the schedule that you created. If you created a schedule and from session 1, then you can follow that. And while you're on this journey, always be remembering why you do this. So if you have any questions, you can come to the Q&A session, which I believe is at 3:00. I will be mobile at that point. So what questions do you have? What questions can I answer? We covered a lot today. I hope this was helpful. So what questions can I answer? You can type them in the chat. Was this helpful for you all today? You can type in the chat. Are you still awake? Can you still hear me? Was this helpful? How many of you are already running your own Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads? Are you already running some of your own ads? All right. Okay. So if you have any questions, we do have another class next week. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to continue down this path. We're going to review everything that we've learned so far. Hopefully we'll look at your store. I will show my store. Let's look at these stores. Let's get these stores up. So try to finish out your store this week so we can all look at each other's stores in our next class, our next session. And this is Nicole signing off. I'm going to say goodbye for now.